Hi, I'm Kim Horcher for Red Carpet Report, and we are outside by the Santa Monica beach. In the event of a Sharknado, this would be ground zero for all the sharkstruction. It would be sharks devastated with just a bunch of sharks. So, in the honor of Shark Week and Geek Week, we are talking to Sharknado writer Thunder Levin. Okay. All right, we're here with Thunder Levin. Did you ever expect that Sharknado would blow up as much as it did?
Sure. I mean, it's been incredible. Who could have expected something like this for our little TV movie? But it's great. The buzz started back in November when they released the first poster. And it's such an obvious sort of image, and the tagline "Enough said." So people started talking about it then. But the way it blew up the night of that first broadcast on Twitter, nobody could have expected that.
Well, actually, you got Corey Monteith's final two tweets.
That was really sad.
I
don't know what to say about that.
Well, it was a very, very pervasive media juggernaut, to say the least. I mean, to keep this on a positive note. You went to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
How did that go?
That was where it really went from the sublime to the surreal, because we had two poster signings. The one in the morning was a rather small scale affair where people had to buy these art lithographs that an artist had done, and it was like $35-40, and we had a steady, slow stream of people. But then in the afternoon, we were giving away posters and signing them, and we were signing at a pretty good pace. And after about an hour, one of the people from the booth comes up and says, "You guys have got to pick it up because the line is down the hall and out the door." And I went to check, and I didn't even see a line. All I saw was the Comic-Con crowd, because it's always so crowded. And it turns out that was our line, and I was just blown away. It was incredible.
There was even that lady with the
hat, the Sharknado hat.
Yeah.
We actually we got her at our booth, and we all took a picture with it. That was wild.
I think I've seen that picture. It's pretty cool.
It was a fun day.
So I also saw people on the marketing team for Sharknado 2 walking around with surfboards saying, "Name our movie."
Right.
Are we anywhere near having a name yet, or
not as far as I've heard?
No.
That's going to be a fun, interesting process. There are all sorts of mashup titles out there, and we'll see what they go with. I know which one I want, but I'm not in a position of authority on that. So we'll just see what they end up with.
Whatever the title will be, determine how you end up writing the movie.
Well, only if they choose the title before I start writing. Obviously, if they decide to call it Bearquake, that's a whole different movie. But I don't see that happening.
Did the title Sharknado come out before that you wrote the original?
Yes, Sci-Fi had the title.
So they knew they wanted sharks.
They wanted
tornadoes.
They wanted sharks, a tornado full of sharks, and the Asylum, the production company, the Asylum, was contracted to write it, and they asked me. They were contracted to produce it, and they asked me to write it.
What was that like, being told, "Okay, we have an idea. You come up, you fill in the blanks, but it's sharks and tornadoes"?
Right. Well, they presented me with the title, and the first thing was I misheard them, and I thought they said Sharknado, and I was like, "What do sharks have to do with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Are they invading Europe or something?" Yeah. And so then they said, no, Sharknado, a tornado full of sharks. And they had like half a page of notes, and I said, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Of course I'll do it, as long as I can do it that way. I've got to be able to have fun with it. We can't take something called Sharknado and make it very dry and serious." And we were all on the same page with that, and so I just had fun with it.
What's it been like, on that note, promoting it? I mean, most of the cast and other crew members have kind of taken this tone, like, yes, we know sharks and tornadoes are ridiculous,
right,
but let's just go with it.
I don't know why people have so much trouble with my science here. This was rigorously researched.
Was it?
No, of course it's we're just having fun with it. And it's a great over the top kind of cheesy popcorn movie. Who could argue with that? It's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the attention has been nothing short of miraculous.
It's been pretty great. I mean, at least from my point of view. Not a lot. Some people have attempted to try and explain the science, and it does kind of work. I mean, there are instances where frogs and small fish have been picked
Right.
up
Right. No, well,
into weather phenomena and dropped elsewhere.
That's where I started. I mean,
Yeah.
the truth is, my original structure was to find some sort of reality. So what would happen if a hurricane hit Los Angeles? This is a city where the streets flood if it rains for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're not equipped for.
We're not equipped at all.
emergencies.
So if indeed global warming is going to lead to more extreme weather, then this is something that could theoretically happen here. And there are verified cases of fish and other, small marine life being picked up by storms and tossed miles away. So I just started with those two ideas and, kept going
And it would take
beyond all reasonable
Sure.
measure.
Well, maybe if there was like an F5.
Well, actually, JPL, the Jet Propulsion Lab, came out last week, I think it was, and they said, well, it's incredibly unlikely an F5 tornado could pick up a great white shark and throw it some distance. So I'm standing by my science, and that's all there is to it.
White shark, not many, many.
Well, if it could pick up one, it could pick up as many as were there. It seems to me.
Well, the nature of science is to try to explain things we don't know yet.
Right.
So I guess on that definition, it is scientific.
Absolutely.
Sure. I've been wondering, like, how did you come up with the finale of Sharknado?
People keep asking me that, and I'm not sure I really remember, but at some point I knew that he had to chainsaw his way out of a shark, and I started directing the action so that he could get a chainsaw, because I knew that had to be how it ended.
Oh, so you had that in mind before. So they
Yeah, I
said
did.
sharks and tornadoes, and you said plus changed saws, and then you worked your way over.
It came to me as I was writing, but it was well before the end of the script. So I started, okay, well then they've got to go to a hardware store or something, because somehow he's got to get a chainsaw. And that just seemed like, if you're being attacked by a great white shark from the air, you need a chainsaw. It just made sense to me.
Yeah, right.
It's funny because somebody just a little while ago pointed out that was an homage to Evil Dead.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking,
I
was he channeling Ash?
I completely forgot about Ash and his chainsaw. That maybe it lodged in my subconscious, but that was not a conscious homage. Although I love.
This is my shark stick.
Right.
That could have been a
Right.
line.
That could have been a line. I love Bruce Campbell. So now that it's pointed out to me, maybe that was in the back of my head, but I wasn't consciously thinking of that.
You should try to get Bruce Campbell aboard for the sequel.
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be great?
I think you could make it work. I mean, it's kind of launched into the public subconscious enough that maybe you can get
Right.
Campbell aboard.
Right.
Can you explain the first scene a little bit with the Asian man trying to get the shark?
To be honest, I didn't write most of that scene.
Oh, okay.
My original scene was just a fishing boat off the coast of Mexico caught in a hurricane, and a huge wave filled with sharks inundates the boat. And the captain of the fishing boat was supposed to say, "Necesito un barco más grande," which is, "I need a bigger boat" in Spanish.
Oh, I like that.
And
I
then
understood
and that got cut out. And Anthony Ferrante, the director, just realized, these films are made on a pretty low budget, and if we were going to be on a boat, he had to justify getting a boat and being on it for a whole day of shooting. So he invented a lead-in scene with the shark finning. So that was not my doing.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, what is your stance on shark finning?
Well,
Or
obviously,
did you decide
I would say shark finning is bad.
Yeah.
I'm not I spend a lot of time in the water. I'm a sailor, and I like snorkeling and stuff. And so I can't say that I'm a big fan of sharks, but I don't think we should be needlessly antagonizing them. That doesn't seem like a good approach.
Was this movie slightly a cautionary tale?
Absolutely.
Like, be good to the environment and stop killing sharks?
Well, there's that, and also, if in fact global warming is screwing with the weather, then there's no telling how bad it could get, and we could have sharks falling from the sky.
Yes. I mean, anything is possible.
Especially in the movies.
Yes, definitely. Well, there's that level of, you get to be creative. How have you been enjoying Shark Week? Because Because right now it's Shark Week and Geek Week on YouTube. If you didn't know.
I didn't know it was Geek Week. Shark Week you kind of can't avoid. I haven't watched all that much of it. I've been a little busy this last week. These the Sharknado has opened up a lot of opportunities for me, and I've been taking a lot of meetings, hopefully getting something even bigger and better off the ground. But I did catch a piece of one last night with the guy whose arm was bitten off, and I saw a bit where they were trying to find out where the great whites breed, and they were talking about it was going to be like shark porn and stuff. And then
there's an idea right there.
There's an idea right there.
Inspiration.
Absolutely. And then last night I did watch Ian Ziering and Tara Reid on Shark After Dark, which looked like a lot of fun.
Are you okay with them calling your film a schlockbuster?
When you try and make $100 million film on $1 million, people are going to call it things like that, I suppose. As long as they're talking about it, I'll take whatever comes.
Sure. Very cool. Have you considered? Did you have maybe movies like Snakes on a Plane in your mind?
Sure. Snakes on a Plane is generally considered to have not been a big hit, but I went to see it opening night in the theater, and that audience loved it. I mean, they were shouting out lines and yelling, "Look behind you," and throwing popcorn at the screen, and it was a great interactive experience. And so the fact that Sharknado has kind of become the cyber equivalent of that has been great fun for me. And then when it was at the theater last Friday, and it sort of became that in real life, I'm just tickled pink.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like there's been kind of a resurgence of movies. Well, I guess we could say B movies, and their rising popularity, or maybe not even rising. Maybe it was always there. People are interested in this.
I hope so.
Yeah. Would you like or dislike comparisons to The Room?
I haven't seen that, so I can't answer intelligently on that.
All right. Well, it's become kind of like a subculture thing where it's playing in theaters.
Right. No, I've been hearing about it, but I haven't caught it yet, so I don't know.
Okay. Or maybe Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror. If we could be playing at midnight shows once a week for the next 50 years, I think that would be just fine.
And people will dress up like a
dress
shark?
Up. Well, at the screening on Friday night, a guy came dressed up as a shark, and he actually had the NATO symbol on his chest. So it was a Sharknado. So
go.
Obviously somebody's been reading my interviews. So
too. Very cool. What's been the most exciting part about all this?
Well, obviously the fans have been great. People have been reaching out to me on Facebook and Twitter, and that's been very gratifying. And the press attention has been very exciting. I should have turned my phone off. But and also I've been at this for a long time. I've been in Hollywood trying to get movies made for 20 years. And so to have something like this opening up professional doors, that's exciting in a whole different way.
That's cool.
And maybe some projects that I've been pushing for years now will finally see the light of day. So that's very exciting too.
Can you talk about that a little, or is it all kind of hush-hush?
Well, nothing is definite yet. I've got a couple of TV series ideas, and a feature film we're trying to get going called Shadows of the Jungle, which is sort of Indiana Jones meets Cat People with a little bit of Apocalypto thrown in.
Cat People?
Cat People.
Like Thundercat People?
No, definitely not Thundercat People.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll be seeing from that now, thanks to, and part of, from Sharknado's crazy success.
Sure hope so.
Yeah, very cool. I think we're pretty wrapped up. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, be sure to like it and subscribe, and leave me a jawsome comment.